Welcome to Transparent Conversations, Elevated Exchanges. It's Friday night, so it must be Friday Night Live on YouTube.
Okay, welcome to Transparent Conversations, Elevated Exchanges. This is Wednesday night, so it's the Wednesday night recap show. I am Calvin, or CPJR, if you know me, or the Melancholy Guy, if you feel me. It is Wednesday night, so it's a Wednesday night recap show, and we are live on YouTube, I think. Yeah, we are live on YouTube, I think. Oh, you know what? We're not live on YouTube yet. Oh, geez. Okay. So, yeah, it's going to be weird. It's going to be weird. It's a weird time. I'm going to go back out and come back in. Nah, we're not doing that. So anyway, I just started the live stream on YouTube. So yeah, welcome. So this is episode 10.68. That's episode 10, 68 days. If you know, you know. And if you don't know, just ask me about the 68 days and why I keep counting those days like that. So tonight's going to be a conversation a little differently. I think I'm going to keep this format. On Fridays, we're going to have the main conversation and the big show. So next week we'll be talking about BDSM. We're moving on from the I guess distraction maybe that I was on for the last couple shows, and I'm going to talk about that and close that out completely. It was, I don't know. We'll talk about it in a minute. But let me go ahead and finish. So if you get a chance, please like, share, subscribe this show to your friends, family, and anybody else who might need this. I'm not sure if anybody does need this. But, you know, if you want to join the Transparent crew, like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, and share. So this podcast is about me talking about my, you know, what's going on in my life. Like I said, I want to say recovering addict. I'm a recovering addict. 68 days clean, and I'm at the intersection. For me, I'm at the intersection of ethical non-monogamy and recovery. So as I, you know, rebuild my life for the final time, I hope, I just wanted to share it with everyone, and then give anyone else who is in the same situation a different way to live, a different way to do it, because you might not be able to do it the meetings way or or any other way. I mean, you might have to make it your own way, because basically that's where I'm at, right? My addiction was chronic, and you know, and I got to the point that this is what I had to believe: change I must, or die I will. And that's exactly where I was. And since right now I am rebuilding, and a lot of things have been going on. There's a warning. What happened? Why is there a warning? I don't know. All right. So anyway, I don't know what's going on. Every time I try to stream or something pops up on the screen, I get distracted, and I do apologize. Okay, say the bit rate's lower than recommended. I'm not sure what that's about. Anyway, so we'll keep on going. I'm recording. So if the stream is not good, don't worry about it. It'll be recorded and posted either tonight or tomorrow. But I will be out tomorrow. I have things to do. So tonight we're going to talk about this conversation. Like I said, we're going to do current events on Wednesday nights on a recap show. We're going to talk about current events, politics, or anything else that may be popping up. And we're going to have the main conversation on Friday nights. So tonight we're going to do I need to get political just this once. That's the title of this show, because there's so much going on as far as politics. It's hard to ignore it. It's definitely affected my life. I had a job. I was set to get a government job, and then the job disappeared because of changing the contract. So obviously, you know, things are not as good as they were. It was all good just a week ago, but as soon as we get the new administration, everything's changing, and I have to adapt. So I don't really, you know, everything that's happening right now is not really the administration's fault. Definitely some of the blame has to be on me because I guess I just wasn't ready to. I wasn't ready to. I wasn't ready to take on a permanent job like I should have. And when I got a contract position in September. I don't want to talk about that. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get with the show, the check-in. So, still looking for my next opportunity. Search is going. The search is going. I don't really know what to say anymore. Like I said, last year was totally different than this year. There was many contracts out there. You could jump on a contract. I work in IT. So we were definitely in demand, and you could jump on a contract a couple weeks. I would just put my resume out there, get a job in 2 weeks, and that's not the case anymore. So I think that I don't know. It's I've been sending out resumes as I always do. So it's gonna take me a little bit longer. But I gotta trust the universe. Maybe the universe wanted me to have this time. I definitely probably needed this time. So I'm going to use this time to either build, not destroy, but use this time to build. I do feel better than I have felt in like 4 years. I know that I had to do something drastic to stop what I was doing. That has happened. And like I said, soon I'll consider myself in recovery. Now, I'm going to say one more thing about my situation with my my podcast guest, co-host, ex-partner, friend, whatever, Helese. I did waste a whole show. I'm kind of upset at myself for even talking about the situation as much as I did. I did a whole show on it yesterday about protecting your peace. Using commitment to protect your peace. Thank God I was doing this. I wasn't really like fully invested in having her in my life or whatever, or having her as a partner in this podcast as a co-host like we've been planning for years. You heard what I said. I had the whole thing last week when I thought that would be the last time I talked to her ever, but she did reach back out to me. We did talk. I thought everything was hashed out, but she did a ghost on me for 2 days, came back and told me like all kind of things. Like, I don't know. So I think it's something about something that I always say, like when you meet someone and you just click, that's pretty much the best type of relationship you can have. If you got to work at, you have to work at communicating or having the same meaning. It probably is something you should just let go. And I should have heeded that. I didn't heed that. Like I said, I may have been overly attracted to her or really wanted a relationship with her, and I should have not done that. I think that'll be the last time. That's the last time I will ever do that in my life. As far as just working to be in someone's life or working to have someone in your life, it's not really, it doesn't, and in the end, this is what I ended up with, like going through a whole show talking about that, trying to start a podcast or a YouTube channel with that person. That's not working out. Lose contact, get contact, lose contact, get contact. Share with this, share about situations in my life that have those situations thrown back at me, because I'm like, some of the things I was like. So basically, she said that what I've told her is, as far as me being in recovery and things like that, I told her where I stand and what I'm doing, but she said she talked to a friend. A friend told her like it takes 2 years, and I'm like, so my last words for her to please take 2 years for yourself. Please take 2 years for yourself, and that's it. That's basically gonna be it. I'm not really gonna bring it up anymore. And I'm gonna release the whole thing, to the universe, and not bring it up again, so I can go on my life. So I had a lot of episodes I should have been. So my whole trajectory with what I want to do with my podcast got sort of thrown off. But I'm back on the plan. So I'm definitely gonna look for people that want to build. You know what I mean? Like you kind of know what you want to do. You want to be, in this thing 100%, and you want to build. You want to learn. You want to team up, partner up. There's a lot of reasons not to do. There's a lot of other things that I should kind of think about what's going on as far as that situation goes, but it's not worth it to me to keep pursuing. And we always come back to the same spot. You know, we're not able to get past it, and I don't want to have to keep explaining myself to someone because I think I'm the person who I've always been. With that, I'm got a great food for thought. I'm gonna go ahead and play this. I'm gonna let it play, and then I'm gonna talk about it afterwards. This is my same man, she and he. I mean, she. What's my man's name? Got my notes here. Can't do it off the cuff anymore. My mind's too everywhere. Yeah, she Hing Yi. We're gonna hear from him for the food for thought. We'll go ahead and play it, and then after that, we'll come back, and then we'll go into the conversation. We're not gonna be long on these. I'm gonna definitely try to hold these down to like maybe 30 minutes to 45 minutes. They were getting long. I think it's because I was putting the recap show. I think should be really short. Like, let's just talk about current events. Let's talk about something that's happening, and then let that go. And we'll get to the conversation on Friday for the long show. So here you go. Food for thought.
Even the close people, even the very close people in my surrounding, sometimes even such close people don't know who you are. Hurts double as much as people saying something about you that don't know you. Now you have people that you thought know you and still they didn't get you. Also very painful. Ultimately leading only to one thing. You would have right now the impression of, so what's the only way? Just go your way regardless of what people think? In a way, yes, but have understanding for them and no ill will against them. That is ultimately the only thing that me as a result for the current state of being that I took as my consequence. So be careful, be very aware who are you letting into your circle, and ultimately rely on yourself, maintain the purity of your intention.
So that's very interesting that every time I come to a situation, I just find a video from the guy on his channel or somebody else's channel about what he's saying exactly where I'm at. Like, be careful who you let in your space. And I definitely do not guard that. I accept any energy into my space, and I definitely get, like I said before, I definitely get distracted, and I definitely get distracted and then off course. And you can see, just like I said, like I was doing the ethical non-monogamy, and I'm off that course now, and the whole trajectory of the show is changing, and I have to get back on course. Hopefully my voice is sounding better too. I did some tuning of OBS, so hopefully the audio is better. We'll see. So yeah, definitely protect. And I don't have, like I said, I don't have any ill will. All I have is understanding. Like I know who I am. Right, I know who I am. I know how I show up in relationships, and I know that. Well, I have to accept now that if it's not accepted, if what the energy that you're putting out is not accepted by someone easily, gracefully, and then you get the return back, that's reciprocated back in the same way, and it's like a smooth relationship. Just don't do it. It's not gonna benefit you in the end, because. And I don't know what the benefit of that was. So, yeah. And that, like I said, the whole thing goes back to what I'm saying about, know your truth, walk in your truth, and know when someone's trying to pull you from your truth. And that's what I kept feeling, a tugging. I kept feeling a tugging, like I'm uncomfortable. And then I think everything's okay. Then wham, it's not. Like, what the hell? And there's nothing even going on. That's the thing about it. Out of all that time and these 2 weeks and these episodes and all the kind of stuff, nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. And that's something that I need to definitely guard going forward. And, I wish you the best. Definitely, but you won't be on here ever again. So let's talk politics. Welcome to tonight's conversation. So I definitely want to talk about politics. I got videos to show you, but I'm going to wait on that. I want to explain my who I am, my political stance. I am a independent. I'm not a registered Democrat. I'm not a registered Republican. I'm independent. That means that in Maryland, I don't get to vote in any primary. I know there's like a big push to get people to vote in primaries. I don't even care to vote in a primary. I mean, let them. Usually who the in this. I'm in a blue state. You know what I'm saying? I got blue light. I'm in a blue state to represent that. And I'm going to stay in a blue state. I will not go and be in a red state ever. I won't do it. My daughter lives in a red state. And yeah, my daughter lives in a blue state in California and Texas. Like when she told me she was moving to Texas, I was shocked. I mean, like, I don't know, why would you do that? You know what I'm saying? Like I still don't understand why she picked it, Texas. I've never been to Texas. I don't know when she went to Texas, and she could have lived anywhere. I mean, she was in the military, out the military degree, works in HR, went and got a remote HR job. Her main office is up here, but she can live anywhere because she's remote. So she works remotely in Texas and comes up here every once in a while to go to the office. So that was interesting to me because I will not live in a red state. I just don't want to do it. It seems like to me like they're openly trying to oppress or take away freedoms and rights. You know what I mean? Like I don't particularly, I'm a liberal, I'm a progressive. I believe in freedom. I believe in like libertarian. Like who someone chooses to love and be with has nothing to do with me. I'm not religious. I am not a Christian. I don't have any. But I know Christianity though. I was a Christian, so I know Christianity. And then the whole thing about my stance on the whole thing about abortion, gay marriage, all that stuff. I'm like, if you're busy, and this is my stance on the whole thing, right? And I don't understand it. If you're a true Christian, right, a follower of Christ, that's what Christians is. You should be busy about following Christ and improving your life, your family, your church, right? That should be your whole focus. But it seems like the focus of most Christians is everything else but that, right? We already know about the Christian nationalism. I'm not even addressing that. That's a political movement that's totally outside of anything I understand. So basically, it seems like the Christian, or I don't know, the white Christian church, I don't know what the evangelical, even they got a problem with Catholics, but evangelical, the whole focus is on trying to take over the government and force their agenda down the throat of everyone else. As I've said it before, like in the spirituality episode, I study religion, right? I know where it came from. I know how it was formed. I know what it's used for, according to from my study, and that's how I got out of religion. So that's when I always say the focus is what confuses me the most. Like if you're working on, and the whole thing about the whole, you want to end abortion, but you don't want to feed the hungry. Like the whole agenda for the Republican and his new beautiful bill is a sham. It's a sham. They don't want to go to, they're saying they know it's a sham. And this guy, Mike Johnson, he's supposed to be, I don't know if devout or whatever it is. He just says a lot of weird things with the whole pornography thing. It's just and they're trying to outlaw porn again. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm 59, so I've been through all this. I remember many times they're trying to outlaw porn. They had problem with songs and putting the labels on the songs, and it was a Tipper Gore and all that stuff. The obscenity laws, all that stuff. And then now they're back trying to outlaw porn again. You know what I mean? Like it's a cyclical thing, but it doesn't really mean, the only thing that it really shows is they want control, right? If you don't like porn, you could always just turn it off. You don't have to buy it. You want to turn it off, but you want to stop other people from living their life. It's the whole thing with like marijuana. You could drink alcohol, but you can't smoke a joint, right? Oh, I'm not elevated. The forest has been cut down. There are no trees in the forest. So yeah, that's the thing. I think I'm getting pops now. I'm gonna work on this mic some more. I think I'm gonna hear pops later on when I do the recording. When I get ready to upload the recording, I'm gonna hear pops. I also noticed that I do kind of talk like, I don't know, like Cardi B, like my words are all chopped up. I definitely get confused with the words. I've always had like a speech problem, either talk too fast. I know I talk very fast. I'm trying to calm down. I'm not as nervous as I used to be when I started doing this. So also it's like I do this stuff so fast now. editing and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, back to the conversation. Sorry, I get distracted. See, wait till I'm elevated. It's gonna be crazy. But anyway, so the angle of where we are politically in this country right now is we know what happened, right, in the last election. They say, like, I don't know. Basically, Trump got reelected after losing, causing insurrection, and then reelecting, right? So, and that was very disappointing. And the whole thing with voting groups to people who probably shouldn't have voted for Trump did vote for Trump. I don't know the motivations. I think racism is big in it. And you hear the people, I remember hearing the people saying, we don't know what she did, who she is. What has she been doing for the last 4 years? All that has nothing to do with the fact that the candidate for the Republicans was a convicted felon. He was twice impeached. The only reason he wasn't impeached. The only reason he wasn't convicted was because the Senate was controlled by the Republicans, Mitch McConnell. They would not convict. So here we are with a man who's now has the entire government. So every time I go online, I see someone saying, like, well, Democrats need to do more. Democrats need to do more. With what? Their gun is unloaded. They can't do anything. They're not in power. Do you remember? Like, I don't think people remember his first term. He was impeached twice. Right? He's already done things. He should be impeached again. I already knew when he got elected, and everybody was saying Project 2025 was his from the Heritage Foundation, and that's what they're doing. And I knew right from then. I just said it right then and there. They're gonna try to spend the next 4 years trying their hardest to push this 2025 through with the executive orders, and then what happens? Court cases. We got court cases every day. Everybody's suing everybody, and nothing's getting done. The big beautiful bill is gonna be dead because of Elon. But then the whole thing about firing hundreds of thousands, not firing, some took buyouts, but getting rid of or eliminating hundreds of thousands of federal workers, and they're dumped into the labor pool. And that's probably why I'm having some of the issues that I'm having on getting a new position. There's like, you can apply online for jobs. I do from job boards like LinkedIn, Glassdoor. The job is posted right away. Like, you get a notification. There's over 100 applicants, because it only comes up to 100. There's 100 people applying for the same job right away every single time. Sometimes I catch it like one or two, but there's 100 applications, and I know that my resume is probably better than most because of my experience, but I'm older. I'm not saying there's no age discrimination or anything like that. I just don't know. I just think that there's a lot of people out there looking for a job right now. I have an interview tomorrow. I still get some responses, but not the responses that I used to get. So, and then the whole, I'm going to go into some more information, but I'm going to stop right now. And I want to just say, like, okay, after Trump was elected January 20, and then the executive order circuit started, and then the attacks on the people. Like, right now, most people in this country, sane people, because MAG is crazy, sane people are worried about what could happen each day. Each day you get something to happen. What happened today? I don't know. I just heard about some guy sent a letter in accusing another undocumented immigrant that he sent a letter in saying, I'm going to shoot the president and then I'm going to self-deport. And then they took it as a real letter saying that they saved the president from getting shot again, but it was a lie. So it was a lie. There's no budget in place. The budget is not going to get passed. It's too much. It's a poison pill, basically. After Elon Musk tried to fire half the government illegally, There's court cases. Most of those departments, things gonna be reversed. Everything he did is gonna be reversed, right? So it's gonna be 4 years of that, as it was the last time. But people don't remember. I don't really understand. Other than the racism, I don't really have. Other than racism, and people just don't actually know how the government works or economy works. But I'm gonna go through all the. I'm gonna go through all that in a minute. But what happened? Do you? I don't. Like I don't think do most people remember what happened in the first 4 years? Like I don't really think people do remember. I know they don't really watch anything other than Fox News. This is right now we're set up to lose, right? Unless we really show up in 2026, we're gonna show up to lose. Already the government is spending money like they got it like that, and they want more money. Like what they really want to do as far as the immigration, the mass deportation, is just grab everybody off the streets as much as possible. I think everybody will have to really one day have to show they live in this country. Like, is it going to come by and check everybody? So we're under siege. And that's what I'm saying. I don't watch mainstream media because they don't act like we're under siege. But we're under siege right now. We as normal, everyday working Americans, we're under siege. And we're afraid. Like, you don't know any day if you're sitting at a restaurant and you don't know if ISIS is going to walk in there and just start locking up everybody, or just like, because they seem to be attacking brown people, right? Like if you, like they attack a restaurant, job sites, they go to the restaurant, lock the restaurant down in the middle of a meal, and storm it. Like they storm it like stormtroopers. Like, I'm a big Star Wars fan, and I really equate this to, like, if you're not a big Star Wars fan, you don't know about Rogue One and Andor, but they are looking like stormtroopers right now. When you look at them, they're dressed up as if for battle, right? For undocumented, why are you dressed up for battle for undocumented immigrants? They're not gonna fight you. They may run, but they're not gonna fight you. And they only run it because they don't want to be detained. Like, I can understand, right? If you're an undocumented person, you may get deported. I understand that part, and that's a fear. Right, I would fear detainment more than anything else, because they seem to detain you, and just you're off the grid, and you don't really know what's going to happen to you, and you could be detained for months. And I think the con for that, or what they're trying to really do with the detainments, is make money, because those are owned by private companies, right? So they're making money, and they want billions more. I think the figure I found out yesterday was like $30 or $40 billion. And you can't say that, they want that money, right? It's not about, it's about deporting them, right? But it's also about getting some of that money. And I want to know who of all these people, Noam, Tom Holland, these people, I want to know, do they have investments in private prisons, or these detention centers? Because they're not government detention centers. So this is a money-making opportunity, and they never will give up a money-making opportunity. I'm going to play this video because I want you to see this video now, what we're up against. And I'm going to talk about what I see as the danger of the next 3 years, 4 years. If we don't really win the Senate, the whole Congress, if we don't win back Congress in 2026, we're in for it. The best hope we have of... And I don't know. I'm not talking. Like, I do believe that this government could go fascist, could go authoritarian, but I don't think it'll go that far, because there's too many people already say that. I'm not living under that. Like, people are saying, "Oh, we're fascism, we're an authoritarian." I'm like, no, I'm not living in that. I'm not living in an authoritarian government. It's not gonna happen. I'm not living through that. I'm not going to work every day, saying, and people checking my papers. That's not gonna happen. I'm like, we're not gonna skip elections and appoint. I'm not living under martial law. Right, so all we have to do is keep calm, right? Don't give them what they want. What they want is riots in the street. What they want is the ability. What they want to do is call martial law, and what they want to do is suspend habeas corpus. So is it habeas corpus? Yeah, habeas corpus. So they can lock people up, right, en masse. And then I don't know what happens when that happens. I don't. It's really crazy. This is what they think, right? This is what the Heritage Foundation. This is what they're playing. to take over the government. And remember, the president of the Heritage Foundation threatened us with violence, right? He said it will be a bloodless coup or a bloodless takeover if we allow it. Right? So that's what we're up against, right? The guy who OMB Russell, he's in there, right? This is his plan. He's right in the I think he's over the OMB, Office of Management Budget. So I think he's like right there, trying to mastermind this whole thing. And the whole thing is they want to take over the government. They want to oppress people. And then I didn't understand. Remember the black jobs statement, or they're taking black jobs. I didn't understand that at first, but the black jobs they were taking was in the fields. But the ones who are doing the construction work or working in the fields, those were black jobs. So he wants to push us down because of DEI, right? No one's qualified to work in government or corporate unless you're white and male, right? That's the DEI, and they're talking about changing the names of ships that were named after other people, minorities, black people, anything else. They have to be trying to change it. I mean, it's just open racism, but I still believe that their whole plan is to cause riots, right, in the streets. That is what they want. They want what happened in the first term. That's why they came out so hard with it. And they're talking about Derek Chauvin giving him a pardon. He can't get out because he's charged also locally. So that's a done deal. Can't do it. If he gets out, he goes right to the state, Michigan, get locked up. So they're trying everything they can. DEI, removing all the pages, stuff like that. Just say we aren't qualified, but that's ridiculous. We already know we qualified. We know who we are. We know who we are. You can't tell us we're not qualified. So and we know we had to earn it. Like I said, I've been in IT, corporate IT all my life, right? And I came up the hard way. Like I came from accounting, switched over to IT, and worked my ass off, taking any little job, any project job that had to be done. I got it. I got it. You know what I'm saying? If I had to learn it, I learned it. If I had to go to class, I went to class. I got it. And that's how I came up. You know what I mean? And that's how I got my qualifications. Like anybody on my job, I told my major thing on the job is I will take ownership of that thing and it will get done. Just let me know when. But you need it. I'm going to get it done. I have no qualms about working overtime all the time. You will, like I say, I don't care how old I am. You will not outwork me. Period. And that's always been my take on it. So and that's why I got all the jobs though, because they, my boss was like, I would say my boss was just like, oh yeah, I was going to tell Kevin to get that done, but it's already done. And that's how what my reviews would be, right? Because I'd be on top of it. So it had nothing to do with anybody hiring me for some DEI reason. No DEI. That was me busting my ass to get things done for my position. So 30 minutes, right? So let me play this video and then we'll come back and talk about it. I got two, but I'm gonna play one and then we'll switch over to the other one. So this is about what I want to emphasize in this video is that this is what we're up against, right? For the next 4 years. Right? Our government is being weaponized against us and we can't really take the bait. So hold tight.
The videos of the confrontation between those agents and demonstrators quickly went viral. Minneapolis and state leaders say those federal agents were at a Mexican restaurant on East Lake Street and Bloomington Avenue in Minneapolis yesterday, conducting a search warrant related to drugs and money laundering, not related to immigration. But officers wearing ICE badges were spotted in some of these videos. Tensions escalated when a man drove his car through protesters who were blocking an intersection. More than a dozen police officers arrived and used crowd control methods to grab the driver.
People are upset. It's wrong what's happening all over, not just here.
The way that the police are showing up in force, no wonder there's such a confrontation between them and the people that actually live here in the community. We have no reason to trust them.
Now, so far, no arrests have been made, but the mayor of Minneapolis says his office is working to gather information into exactly what happened. The Hennepin County Sheriff's Office reiterated it does not assist with civil immigration enforcement.
No, she did not. That is not what happened.
That is not what happened. Okay.
What?
Hold on a second.
Give me your contact information right now.
All right. So I'm gonna freeze right there, right? So this is what I want to say, right? Okay, so on the back of his jacket, right there, the back of his jacket says police, Homeland Security, right? So a lot of you saw, like when Elon Musk was going into buildings, they were going with armed guard, like armed officers, and the officers mostly were from Homeland Security. Now, I was always worried about Homeland Security. Homeland Security showed up or was formed after 9/11, right? And Homeland Security has the, I guess, the responsibility to secure the homeland. I think ICE is under them, Customs, things like that. And I think the Coast Guard. So they're supposed to be looking out, right, to protect the homeland, right? This is them going into an office, the office of a Democrat, congressional. They're going to a Democratic congressional office, right, under the reason or the suspicion of they're hiding rioters. Right, the woman, the little white woman, she crying, right, because she never had that habit, right? It's scary to get handcuffs when you get locked up in handcuffs. I've been there, right? It's scary. You don't know what's gonna happen to you. Once that click on your back and you sit in the back of a car, that's it. You out of control. They put you in the cage. You got no control of your life. You don't know what's gonna happen to you. I've had I don't have nothing serious, but you go out and you're a kid, you get kind of stupid things. I had nothing serious, no charges, nothing like that. But sometimes you end up in the back of a police car, So, but then, but it's a scary thing to happen to you, and I don't think that these people ever saw it coming, and didn't see it coming from Homeland Security. Like, what are they securing by going into a congressional office? All of a sudden, after the election was won and the executive orders start going out, we already knew that Trump he had already pardoned the Jan 6 people, all of them. They said they were going through it one by one. He said, you know what, just get them all. I think they want to keep the violent ones in jail, but he has said, you know what, I ain't got time for this. Let's just release them all. So we already know that the Department of Homeland Security, FBI, DOJ, and any other federal enforcement agency works for Donald Trump. They don't work for the American people anymore, right? They don't work for the American people. So the way they're going to move, they move as if they know that for the next 4 years, they ain't got nothing to worry about. They get a pardon. Anything happens to them, first of all, I'm sorry, they don't get a pardon. They don't have to worry about a pardon. They don't have to worry about a pardon because the DOJ is under his control because, for some reason, everybody in this country decided to give the felon, number 47, control of the House, the Senate, and the executive branch. He's the president. So therefore, all the agencies that would normally be set up to protect the American people no longer work for the American people, right? That's a scary thing. They work for the president, all of them, and they take orders from the president. And it's chaos. There's chaos across the country. So the first video was a video how they're moving. Like they went into I guess ICE, Homeland Security, because on the badges on the backs I see FBI, ICE, Homeland Security. They're throwing grenades or stun grenades into crowds to disperse them, and they're looking for immigrants. This is not for I know on that video they said it was a drug raid or something like that, but still ICE was there. But they're coming in as if looking like stormtroopers from Star Wars. Like I just watched Andor. Go watch if you haven't watched Andor, watch Andor and see how fascism works. All right, same thing happened in Germany in 1930. They don't work for us anymore. They're not on our side anymore. They want us to riot, right? Because when we do, what's gonna happen? We're gonna have martial law, and suspension of habeas corpus. Habeas corpus. I keep thinking that's the wrong word, but that's bound to happen. And I think that I need to just get it off me to say something, because every time I see people starting to fight back. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they want. They want you to fight back. But I understand that if you're in like some of these towns and you have people like the young man, I think it was in Ohio, maybe, I'm not sure, or Michigan. No. I think it was Boston. I think it was a Massachusetts. I don't know. Anyway, the guy was a volleyball player, high school graduate, getting ready to go graduate. He's gonna play in the band. Maybe he wasn't. Anyway, he's a senior. He's gonna get out of school. He was good. Been here since 5 years old. Right? They were up in that town to catch someone else. They couldn't get him. I think it was his father. They couldn't get him. They take the kid. Right? And the kid is now in detention. He's gonna be deported to a country he's never been to. Right? And they may try to send him to because he has no papers in the other country. Right, in Mexico, wherever other country he's gonna send him to, he doesn't have any papers there, so they gotta, they might not take him. So what they gonna do? Send him to CICOT or El Salvador or Sudan? What are they gonna do with him? Right, that kid needs to be brought into the country. If he's been a good kid, no criminal record at all. I didn't do my education too, so he should not end up in CICOT. I know that they're saying that he's here illegally, but he didn't break the law. He was 5 years old. And they're crying. His family, they just took him, but they feel okay to do that. So that's what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to really emphasize and get, and I want people to understand that these people with these little things on their backs that say Homeland Security and ICE and FBI, they no longer care about the American people, right? They only care about what Trump says. They only care about what Stephen Miller says, Kristi Noem, this Tom guy, whatever it is, that troll. That's the only thing they care about, right? So it's important that if you were on the fence about not voting for and I keep hearing I don't look at mainstream media because they treat this thing, the whole race, as if it was normal. There was nothing normal about this race. They should have been emphasizing the fact that this race isn't about Democrat Republican anymore. It's about freedom and democracy and getting our government back, right? We do not have a government right now. The government is not on our side. Understand that. That's the truth. And you keep and then people keep saying the same thing that I read on social media. What Democrats need to do something. Democrats need to do something. You didn't give the Democrats any power to do something. You didn't vote for them. Right? Swing states all went red. So therefore you gave the entire government over to Trump to do what? To do this. This is exactly what he said he was going to do. And that's what they keep going back to. The American people wanted this. And really, what can you say? Because you did. You did. You gave it to them. I live in a blue state. I already knew my state was going to vote for Kamala Harris. I already knew that. But then these swing states, I don't really understand what's going on. I mean, right now, we're going to go into we're looking at a recession. So I'm going to look at what's going on, what some of the areas that we need to pay attention to. Because we're in a bad situation. We definitely need to worry about like immigration. The whole thing about immigration, they want more money. So this is only the beginning, right? I already said they want to ask for like 30. I think the figures I heard is 80 billion. They probably need more because they want to open more detention centers. The only thing that's stopping them from locking up more immigrants, and it's not just, understand though, it's not just undocumented immigrants. It's immigrants, right? Cubans who voted for Trump, they're in trouble because they voted. You know what I'm saying? They thought they were safe, right? They're not citizens. They were here on green cards, on a protected status. The Supreme Court said, yeah, you can take them. Which is actually that he can, you know what I'm saying? And you also got to think about a lot of things that are rolling through the court. Maybe some of these things will change, but you also got to think about, can he enforce them? all that kind of stuff. I don't think he's really up for being a tyrant or really. I don't know, right? I don't really think he knows what's going on too. A lot of it. I don't think they tell him everything that's going on. He's not gonna pay attention. We already got the attention span of a gnat. So I don't think he knows what's going on. I don't think they're telling him everything. So as far as these cases, I don't think he knows he won or lost. Like, I don't Kilmar Badel Garcia, homie from Maryland, he ain't coming back no time soon. We may get him back in after Trump's gone in 4 years, but I don't know if he's gonna still be alive. He's in prison for nothing. For nothing. If you cross the border, right, illegally, do you get a prison sentence? Ask yourself that. You know what I'm saying? So why are they sending people to prison? Sudan, prison. Doesn't make any sense. And these other countries need to watch what they're doing, because the other countries are going to start treating them bad because they're doing something illegal. It's illegal. We already know it's illegal. I already know El Salvador is thinking about rethinking this whole thing because they think it was clear. They think it's okay. No, it's not okay. The guys are in prison. They didn't do anything. So the immigration it's going to be a mess. If they get this money they want to get from this bill, it's just what you see now is like, and Tom, that guy, he's already said, you ain't seen nothing yet. The only reason they aren't picking up more people because they can't detain them. They don't have enough detention facilities. So what they want, more detention facilities. Watch Andor. I'm telling you, from Star Wars, this is the same thing. This is the same thing. They did the exact same thing. They needed more people in prison to do more work, and they just came up with they just sent everyone a sentence. Andor ended up in prison, working on parts for the Death Star. I'm a big Star Wars fan. So I'm gonna take these things like what's happening right now and what's bad about this Trump presidency is economic and trade, tariffs. I didn't graduate college, but I went to college. I did take economics, right? I already know tariffs are not to be used like this. Tariffs are used to protect your markets, right? They're not used to raise money, right? To fund anything. They're used to protect our markets. Therefore, because if let's say steel, like if some other countries make steel and it's cheaper and they're trying to dump it over here for lower prices, we want to protect our steel industry. So what do? Raise tariffs on theirs. We put a tariff on theirs to make their steel more expensive. So then you would source it locally, right? All the things that El Presidente Trump is putting tariffs on, we don't make. Like the whole, you don't hear it anymore, right? Remember Ludick, whatever his name is, kept saying about this, we need to bring manufacturing home, all this and that. How are you going to bring manufacturing home in a year, right? Like there's no competition. There's no way you can start making an iPhone here. And I already told you iPhones are not coming back. There's a good podcast about that. We cannot build iPhones in this country. We don't have the skills. And there's a whole book about how Apple teaching China how to make iPhones is what's built China, because now they have the skills to make iPhones. Well, then they can take those skills and build other electronic things, right? So that's gone. That is completely gone. There is no way that could come back to America. They say some of it can come back as far as assembly, but not actually manufacturing it like from scratch. It's gone. Because you can't pay enough people, and it's interesting. It's on us. If you watch Scott Galloway, his show, he talked with the guy who talked about the whole theory about how Apple really was to come up for China, right? By teaching them how to make iPhones, and then they manufactured the whole iPhone. Okay, Apple don't manufacture iPhones. Foxconn is a whole separate company. They manufacture icons for Apple, right? So they have the processes. Right? They may go over and teach them how to do it, all that kind of stuff, and go over it with engineers and things like that. But Foxconn makes the iPhones. Okay? It's not in-house. Apple doesn't make iPhones. Foxconn makes iPhones. So they can manufacture them. So at the price point that they're making it at, you're not going to get enough Americans to do it, because basically, as we're going to see, if they get this money to increase the detentions, they're already talking about labor shortages in those industries, such as construction. What else? And what's the other thing? Oh, farm work. Farm labor, pretty much just labor. That's all going to suffer because they with the help of Fox News, they sell the lie that undocumented immigrants don't want to work. They want to get Medicaid. They want to still sit in a hotel and collect benefits, but don't want to work. Those are hardworking people. Period. Those are hardworking people. I already told a story about I watched them do my friend's condo. They did that thing like it was everything. They were on point, and the whole point was they worked all the time. And if there was a problem, they know how to do business. They cut the grass all around here at my house. I'm not cutting grass. The crew come out here, they cut grass. They do it like that. They do a lot of them like that. That's what they do. So, and then we switched over to being corporate and engineers and content makers. Finance. That's what we do, right? That's what we do. We don't do the labor anymore, and it's not going to come back overnight. So the whole point of the tariffs is lost. It's just lost. And then what he's telling it's also a regressive tax on poor people, right? We have to pay more, and it's coming. Nothing's coming down. Prices aren't coming down. And then he keeps lying, saying they are. And are we going to leave it there, right? So economics and trade, tariffs is not a plan to improve economics or trade. Tariffs is not the way you go. You negotiate, and then let me just add one more thing. The trip he took to the Middle East, all those deals. I don't know what the deal. Does anybody know the and maybe you could just talk to me and tell me what was the outcome of all the deals that were made, that he said were made for the country. I know he made money. Yeah, because they want to give him a plane. He made so much money for them over there and got so many deals. They said, "Here's your parting gift, a $400 million plane." Do you know how much money you had to generate for someone to give you a $400 million plane? You generated a lot of money. They like you. They want you to come back. Right? That wasn't to the American people. That was to Trump. So that trip wasn't for the American people. That was for Trump. So yeah. So economically we lost, man. Basically the deal, the whole plan was tariffs. We already know that's not working. Prices aren't coming down. The economy's not doing well. Jobless claim. The jobs numbers are weird, right? I already know from my search that the number of jobs that were posted last year are not the same as this year. The number of hiring manager calls I get this year is not the same that I had last year. So something changed. Something definitely changed. And a lot of people are just not finding the same positions. As far as immigration and border security, I talked about that. All they want to do is deport. So here's my take on border security. What's going on? So the border security thing, right? We already know this is based on racism, right? Because, genocide in Africa, they went over and got some white Afrikaners and brought them over here because, I don't know, there's no genocide. The white genocide in there's no white genocide in South Africa because they prefer to have white people. The $5 million gold Trump card for citizenship. I don't even know what that's about. That's all weird too. So just wait for him to make money. He wants more white people, more rich white people over here. That's all that's for. So the immigration thing, that whole thing is definitely going to cause. We already see the problems with it, right? So a lot of people that you may know or don't know are undocumented, right? And there could be sitting your neighbors, and you could be sitting at home, and you're going to watch like these trucks just roll up as if it's a raid or something like that, and they're just going to snatch people out. Could you imagine what happened? I could think it happened in California during dinner at a popular restaurant. And they were throwing flashbangs in the middle of dinner service. Like, what was that for? That's intimidation, right? The government does not work for us. Understand that, right? That's why I would say, like, be ready. That's all you can do is be ready for anything to happen. And be ready to get out of there, because you know what I'm saying. I don't know I'm not fighting the government. unless we going all out, I'm not fighting the government. I'm not getting locked up for no dumb stuff. But if we come to the point where I need to protect me and mine, we gotta fight, and it's gonna be a war. No, nothing else. I'm not doing nothing else. I'm not protesting nothing. Nothing. Because I didn't do this. You know what I'm saying? We didn't do this. We voted correctly. Right? And then everyone is saying that, why aren't you doing this? Why don't you do this? Why aren't you doing it? Why didn't you vote correctly? Why didn't you vote in your interest? We told you it's gonna happen, right? This whole thing is not about a race war. This is not about race. This is about class. Right? This is class warfare. This is about class warfare. The person you need to be linking arms with is a person who's on the same economic level as you. Right? Regardless of race, regardless of culture. Because all the top people want is more money. They're addicted to money. They have enough money to last them the rest of their lives and to give to their families. They already got rid of the what's the tax you get when you leave your kids the area? I don't know, the estate tax. That's gone. So the kids, they get all the money and they keep on going. Right? This isn't about taxes. This isn't about that at all. This is about how they just want more money and more control. So somehow we need to get. Oh, wait a minute. So we need to get more people to understand that this is not a joke. This is not a joke. This is serious. And then, but if we can't get past this hate, they're gonna keep manipulating us, right? So, I don't know how to fix that. I mean, you can't really get them to. I mean, really, the hardcore Americans, you can't get to them, right? We already see every day more and more videos and posts on social media about how they need or how they regret their vote, right? Because they're being negatively affected. But I don't know, they didn't listen to them. So I don't know. Somehow we have to keep talking to them, trying to get them to understand. Like, anytime you vote for Republicans, it's against your interest. The whole thing about this whole big monster bill, I refuse to call it beautiful. The big monster, the big suicide bill, the big poison pill bill. It's not for us. It's not for us at all. They're gonna add money to the deficit for the tax cuts. So they want to put the tax cuts on the corporate card, on the country's card. It's not. We can't afford it. And the cuts. So at this point, the cuts are just cruel, right? Cuts to SNAP, EBT, Medicaid, Head Start, everything. That's just all cruelty. That's not for anything. That's just cruel. Because the tax cuts are still going to go through. The cuts got to come from the real cuts got to come from defense. Defense. I think. Yeah, defense. And if people talk about Social Security is not even in the Social Security. You put money into that, and I don't understand how people don't understand that. Like, you can't really. It's hard to talk to people who don't know how nothing works. How nothing works. Social Security is not an entitlement. You pay. It comes out your check. It's on a line item. Social Security. Or SSI. I don't know what it is, but it's just your money because you paid into the fund, right? So I don't. That's weird. And I watch all these things about these debates, and the problem with the debates is if you're dealing with people who don't have an understanding of how things work, and that the one biggest thing to get on my nerve about this whole thing is. Oh, don't forget that the House passed it. So every Republican in the House already voted to cut Medicaid, to increase the deficit, to cut EBT, welfare, SNAP benefits, cut resources, cut the legs off from underneath the safety net for this country. They were for it. They were for increasing the deficit, in order to give a tax cut to the richest people in America who don't need it. They don't even need any more money. How much more money do you need if you have a yacht? Jeff Bezos. I work for AWS. I can't even. Okay, so you got a lot of money, right? Billions, third richest man in the country. You got a rocket company, right? So you think about, well, I want to get a yacht because everybody, all the other billionaires got yachts, right? But you know what? I want to get the biggest sailing yacht, right? Because I want to go ball it out. I want to go old style. You know what I'm saying? Because I want a big sailing yacht. But you know what's wrong with this big sailing yacht? It don't have as much room because it has to be aerodynamic, it has to be slick. So it can't be like a big motor yacht. So it has it because you can't have the beach club and all the toys on the sailing yacht because not enough space. So what do? You build another yacht to go with the sailing yacht, right? So you got another yacht to carry the crew because you also can't carry as many people on it because it's a sailing yacht. So you still want all the the room and luxury. You need all the crew, all the servants to come on my yacht. So I gotta build them a yacht to go with the sailing yacht. So that's how much money you need. So even with that, you have enough money to do that, but you need more money. More money. The hundreds of millions of dollars for a yacht and a second yacht to go with that yacht. But I need some more money. Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. What was that? I think I'm gonna go. Something just scared the hell out of me. I don't know what happened. Did y'all hear that? All right. Anyway, that was scary. I don't know what that was. I don't know what that was. Okay. I don't know. So anyway, so you need. I'm not gonna talk about that no more. I don't know. Is ice cream coming here? I don't know what's going on. That was scary. I don't know why I recorded the dog either. So So we got immigration, we got the economics, the environment. They're already tearing the environment up. They want to roll back everything that Biden did in his term. They're rolling back all of those, and some of those were for the I think infrastructure bill or the Inflation Reduction. Anyway, some bills there they're going to roll that back because they don't believe in climate change. So let me tell you this though. I was on someone online and they were talking about. I'm still concerned about what that was. So they were talking about Antarctica. They're saying that the ice caps are melting very fast, and it's to a point that no one cares anymore. And then I was some post. It was Facebook. Facebook is the worst for talking anything about politics. But then the people on Fox News viewers were commenting how they're saying that Antarctica is growing, right? Because of rain and something like that, but it's not really growing. It's like this. It's a seasonal thing. It's not really growing, right? It's not. So their whole thing is, if you're losing ice to the glaciers, they're melting, but they're saying, So I'm like, okay, so they're getting their news, and this is from a science site that I'm looking because whenever I see online, look up. So I'm like, what? That can't be right. You know what I'm saying? They can't be right. I don't think Antarctica is growing. No, it's not growing. It's a temporary seasonal thing, and they're just, I don't know, they're probably just watching Fox, getting Fox News, and they're making fun of the science, saying that, glaciers are melting, but Antarctica is growing. And we already see the effects of what's happening. Never think FEMA. They don't want to fund FEMA. So that's going to be a trouble. I think I don't know, it's up in the air about, but we'll see. We have to see, right? We don't know what FEMA's going to do. We already know that some countries, or some counties, or some states are getting turned down. Their FEMA requests are getting turned down because you don't want to pay the money, right? Sarah Huckabee, his own press secretary, got denied for whatever red state she's from. I don't even really care. I mean, I don't begrudge. I don't want to say I hate anything about red states. I just don't understand them. They don't really produce much, and but they want everything. But they're like the meanest people. So legal, constitutional. We all know the economic impact. Tariffs, trade wars are not good for stability. Business likes stability, right? A well-regulated, free markets are fine as long as they're regulated well. So people can't get ripped off. Like, you don't want to worry about, like they say right now, the people are, when you order like the container ships, the imports from China, when they make an order, it may be a few months before they come over, right? When they make the order, because they got to fill the ship up. They're not, they're not like you order something from Amazon, right? And they say don't get here in 2 days, right? And they put it on a truck, right? These are ships. They have to have the ship filled to a certain capacity before they ship it over, because they got to make it. This is billions of dollars on these ships, right? And then it takes months. I don't know how long it takes to get over here. Let me not say that. But it probably takes a month or something from the time it's ordered to the time it comes over. So they want to get stuff over here before a tariff hits, but because the price will change and it'll go up, and then it got to go up with you. And it's like, and especially if you're a small business, that could put you out of business. The price, if you want, if an extra $200,000 is added to the invoice because of tariffs, that might put you out of business. Then you got to add that money to the customer. The customer's like, wait a minute, that's $500 more on this. That's the tariff. Because he's a nut or he can't remember. He don't know economics. I don't know where he gets the idea that the shipper pays the tariff. That don't even work. How, if tariffs are protected, right? Like let's say the car industry, right? The Chinese cars, BYD, the cars I like. If I want to get an electric car, I'd be one of those electric cars. 100% tariff. Why? Why is it 100% tariff on that car? And actually, they pay 100% in Europe. I just found out. And that's why they buy Mercedes-Benz for taxis. But it's 100% tariff, 100% tax on those cars in Europe. 100% tariff, because they don't want you to buy those. They don't want those over here. They want to protect our car market. They want to protect Tesla because he would lose. Right? They're making better cars, cheaper. So, and China will eat the loss, because their plans are not, they don't care about the next quarter. They care about the long run, right? It's a whole different system over there, right? So in order to, if you want to protect the market, you put 100% tariff on it. You don't put 100% tariff on everything, right? Because that kills trade, right? Anybody that's been to Wharton business school should know that. That's our president. He's a Wharton School graduate. He should know that, right? He doesn't know that, or either that or he's lying. So, and I'm gonna do one more thing. I'm gonna go ahead and end it up, because I got a lot more areas. Foreign policy. Big up to Ukraine, Zelensky, for that attack. That was brilliant, and I'm glad you didn't worry about what the this administration would say. You texting your people. You have the cards, my man. You have the cards. Keep fighting. Yeah, that didn't age well, did it? Because he showed, I'll get the cards. You know, you talking to me like that, I got you. And be careful of somebody who just sit there and take it. Because you know what I'm saying? He knew what he was going to do. That plan was already in the works. That was a long, quiet plan. That was a mastermind plan. And those drones are crazy. They had the drones in the trucks and then drive the trucks across the country, and then have, I don't know how you control a drone 3,000 miles away, mini drones, and had the drones come out the top. They had them in like mobile homes. They had the drones come out the top and just hit you know what I'm saying? Master. That's a mastermind. I would just quit right there. But we know Russia gonna just bomb everything. Be safe. That's a rough one. Yeah, so we lose out on this whole thing with we have inadequate leadership for Department of Defense. We hope they're busy dismantling DEI and thinking that's making them more ready to fight. I don't get that part, but you know, let's pray we don't get any real serious conflicts right now. Human rights, they don't, you know, this whole thing about DEI and the whole thing with the trans thing. I'm like, I always say this. How often do you see trans people in your life on the street every day? How often do you see it? How often do you have to deal with it? They talk about it as if they're everywhere. right? I support if anybody can live. I don't yuck anyone's yum, right? This is transparent conversations. Get it how you live. Let your freak flag fly. I don't have nothing to do with me. I know what I want to do. I know what I want to like. I don't have no problem with you doing what you do, right? Period. Now, I don't believe in, there's no such thing as sin to me. That's a whole made up thing. So this whole thing with the trans people, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So because we don't see it every day, they act as if we see it every single day, right? It's not there. It's just a made up. I think Fox News talks about it every night just to keep their base, hyped up to the point where, if anybody supports that, you crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I've been attacked online for showing pronouns, things like that. I'm like, what does that have to do with you? So I think, foreign. So as I have this picture on the reason I have this up there is because just for the next 4 years, until we actually address until 2026, our government does not work for us, right? The FBI, they aren't really looking out for any crimes. They're taking money. They're taking money from any type of enforcement for cyber security, those investigations, SEC, anything that could stop them from making money. All this, they want to let crypto run crazy. They're not for us. So anything that's going to happen is all the money's going towards immigration. Anytime you see ICE, FBI, anything federal, it's mostly they're probably just there to enforce whatever the administration wants. There's not there for your security nor safety. So be careful around them. They're not for us. They don't work for us right now. They're working for, and when I say that is because look at how they move, right? They move as if we are the enemy all of a sudden. We are the enemy. They don't work for us anymore. They work for President Trump. All right. And they know that Trump has their back. And if he needs to get him out of jail, he'll get him out of jail. He'll pardon him. So just be careful. Be careful. So that's why I stand on politics, man. I'm blue. I'm uber liberal. I'm progressive. I don't understand conservatism. I don't understand not wanting to change. I don't understand not loving your fellow man. I'm a patriot. I don't have any idea. Like, I don't know. I lived a privileged life, right? I came up privileged. I must say, I came up privileged. So I have a outlook on life. It's been an hour. All right, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. That's it. I guess I'm gonna leave it there. Thanks for tuning in. This was Politics. On Friday, the conversation will be back to ethical non-monogamy, and we're gonna talk about BDSM. Aren't you excited? I am. All right, cool. I'm gonna hope I press the right button, and then I'm gonna be out. I'm gonna put my thing back right there. Hold up. There you go. I appreciate everybody for looking. All right, Transparent Crew. See y'all next week. I hope I got the right button.
All right, people, we out. Choose love every time, and things will work out. All right, peace. See you next week.
Love you.